Hey everybody, or anybody who's out there listening. It's currently minus 53, so quite a chilly evening, but I'm quite snug and cozy in my well-insulated log cabin. Plus I've got the fire going, but I'm a bit concerned about my dwindling supply of firewood, which I've estimated will last me about another 3 months if I'm very conservative about it. I originally had about 4 years worth, and I naively thought, yeah, that should do it. But well, we all realized pretty quickly that this wasn't just a cold snap, but that we were in this for the long haul, and outside there's literally nothing left to cut. All that's left is the stumps, which are buried in snow, and even if they weren't, they'd be impossible to dig up because the ground is rock solid. So I have to make do with what I have, and I haven't heard or seen anyone in almost 5 months now. It was the 23rd of November to be exact. I remember because it was my father's birthday. God rest his soul. He passed in the early days of the big freeze, as people were calling it at the time. Anyway, yeah, that day, the 23rd, it was about minus 60, and I hear a faint knock on the door. I open it, and there's this young guy standing there holding a log in his hands. He's shivering. His facial hair is frozen solid. His eyelashes, too, white with frost. His lips all cracked and peeled, and then he just drops the log to the ground because he's too cold and weak to carry it. And he just faintly says, "Log for food, please." And so I was welling up inside, and I took him in, and he literally fell in front of the fire, curled up, fell asleep. And meanwhile, I cooked up a stew, preparing it for when he woke up, and well, he never did. And that was the most sobering, heart-wrenching, darkest moment I've experienced during this whole ordeal. He was a young man, no more than 25, I would guess, and obviously I never got his name or found what his story was, how he ended up all the way out here at my front door, but I like to think that he got some comfort in his last moments, that the last thing he remembered was the warmth of the fire, the feeling of being safe, the feeling that his ordeal was over, and then his body maybe just said, okay, that's it. I'm content and I'm ready to go right now. In this moment of peace. That's what I like to think anyway, but the next morning I had to think of what to do because I had to in some way give this young man the send-off he deserved, but obviously I couldn't dig the earth. Although I tried, it was just impossible. So with a lot of effort and over the space of quite a bit of time, because you need a lot of time and a lot of heat, I cremated his body and placed the ashes in a coffee jar, which for the time being is beneath the snow, and the log he brought, I fashioned that into a cross, and I engraved the words, "The visitor, rest in peace, died November 23rd, 2045. So that was the last time I saw or spoke to another human. As brief as it was, that was the last time, but it's not that surprising, I guess. I mean, this area wasn't frequented by many people even before the crash, so they're certainly not going to be out here in minus 50 degrees. They're not going to be out anywhere unless other parts of the world have somehow began warming up and some sense of normality has resumed, which I very much doubt is the case considering I'm in the middle of Utah and it's minus 53 degrees, so places way up north they must be. I don't know. I'm guessing minus 100. I really have no idea, but I know that the lowest temperature ever recorded in the United States was in Alaska on January 23rd, 1971, and that was minus 80. So I'm pretty sure that now it could be below minus 100 quite easily in some parts of the world, but news of what's happening elsewhere is non-existent. It pretty quickly came to a halt after the crash. First, it was news about temperatures temporarily plummeting around the world. Then it was forecasted to be longer. Then all travel was suspended. Then came the food shortages. Then the starvation. Then the number of people dying from cold and hunger going into the tens of millions. And then it came to a halt. The news, the information on what was going on, it all just stopped. And the world, it seems, stopped with it. It's like I'm the last remaining man on Earth. Just me and a couple of pretty tough, albeit emaciated-looking black bears that have somehow managed to get as far as they have, but unfortunately, pretty quickly meet their end when they come knocking at my door, looking for food, that food being me, but I got the firepower. I'm well stocked up on ammo, and the bears, being as hungry as they are, they just come right up to the front door, but I have like a small loft area above the door, more like storage space, so I can just climb up, open the latch, which is a few feet above the front door, and before they know it, bang, they're dead, quick and painless, and so that's my source of meat, but of course the number of them is decreasing rapidly, so I'm in very real danger of running out of food, not just yet, but that day will come when I'm staring at my last canned soup thinking, oh hell, what do I do now? Anyway, it's something I can't dwell on. I have to keep going.
I'm going to give it my best shot in my most professional weatherman voice possible. So, here we go. Hello and good evening. Temperatures are continuing to plummet as fast as my will to live, and the current conditions are forecasted to last anywhere from a few weeks to a couple of thousand years. The current temperature is minus 54. So cold I can't shit because my asshole is frozen shut, and my nutsack looks like two meatballs encased in a frozen piece of wispy hair chicken skin. North of my ball sack conditions are much the same. It's an icy frozen tundra, and my shaft hasn't been this stiff since I popped 3 Viagras while going through a phase of erectile dysfunction. For those of you hoping to see a bit of sunshine before you die a cold, lonely, miserable death, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but that giant pain in the ass of a dust cloud that's orbiting the Earth is going to remain a giant pain in the ass until your actual ass itself is just 2 frozen skinny lumps of pale meat protruding up out of the snow for the bears to feed on. Wind speeds are also high, making the situation even more treacherous, so if you're planning to go outside, you are a fucking idiot. Temperatures will drop to about minus 70 during the night, so try and stay warm, get that fire lit, and if you want to end your misery, throw yourself into it. A snowstorm of cataclysmic proportions is also on its way in the coming days. So if you want to save yourself the effort of digging your own fucking grave, just stand outside and wait to be buried alive in it. So, that's it for me, guys. Have a wonderful evening. I'm going to go now and roast these nuts on an open fire. Good night.
Temperatures could plummet to minus 100. Be it nuclear war, a meteorite, any kind of extinction level shit. DJ Apocalypse is like a goddamn nasty ass cockroach straight out of the hood who refuses to be exterminated. I've seen it all, y'all. Wars, famine, pestilence. And that was just in the hood growing up, y'all. This ice age, I mean, come on, man. Mother Nature be a bitch and all, but she gonna have to do more than that to get rid of DJ Apocalypse. I mean, come on, for real, y'all. Granted, I've lost a couple of pounds, but that's to be expected. I mean, before this, 99.9% of my diet was fried chicken. Now I'm living off these crazy-ass squirrels around here who, first of all, are a bitch to catch. They clever. They know the shit you trying to pull, so your traps got to be pretty elaborate to catch them. But when you do, I'm telling you, man, they ain't bad. They got like a chicken mixed with nut flavor. And the meat even look like chicken a bit. If they had been selling that back in the day, y'all, I'd have been buying it. The Mac Squirrel Burger, that would have been a hit, y'all, for real. Mac Squirrel Nuggets and Fries, KFS, Kentucky Fried Squirrel. And that shit would have been the bomb. But anyway, like I was saying, DJ Apocalypse ain't going nowhere anytime soon. I've been listening to all y'all doomers out there. Damn, you dudes need to get your shit together and stop with all that negativity bullshit. We in this, and there ain't nothing we can do. But take each day as it come, y'all. You got to be looking for the positive all the time, man. Regardless of what shit life be throwing at you, you got to wipe that shit off your face. Go pick yourself pity and ass up and face another frosty ass motherfucking day. That's all there is to it. And y'all, we got to keep populating. I ain't got nobody to populate with, but if I did, we'd be popping out a little Jabari here, a little Jamila there. We'd be popping out them babies that carry on the bloodline, y'all. And plus, all that back and forth action, keep your ass warm. It's a good cardio workout, too. So if you got the opportunity, you get right on it. You be rocking those hips. Nibbling on them BJ lips, spanking all the wobbly bits. And in 9 months' time, you can thank DJ Apocalypse. Anyway, wherever you are, whoever you with, whatever you're doing, I hope y'all doing good. I know it ain't easy. There's so many things I miss, man. Just a glimpse of the sun, a blue sky, some grass, a toke on a Scooby-Doo, the sound of traffic. Hell, even the sound of my ex-mother-in-law giving me shit. I miss movies on a Friday night and blowing up shit on GTA. I miss a Summer Street and all them fine booties strutting they stuff. Damn, I could list all the things I miss all day, but it ain't gonna get me nowhere. So I try and put that shit out of my mind and say to myself, you snap out of that shit. This is the reality of the situation. Now get your lazy ass up and go catch that evasive little son of a bitch of a squirrel and get your ass some breakfast. But obviously as well, I miss my studio and doing my thing, my freestyle and mixing up some beats, man. I miss that. I ain't heard a song in about 3.5 years, man. All I got now is the songs in my head and the memories of all the good times listening to them with my homies. But I still spit some sick rhymes, y'all, every once in a while, except now it's all like ice and snow related. It's hard to get away from that shit. Like when you look around and all you see is a frozen wasteland all the way out to the horizon, it's like, damn, I need to stop rapping about penguins and igloos and shit. I ain't seen no penguins, but it looks like the type of environment they should be in. And so they've started to creep or waddle into my songs, and penguins ain't got no place in hip-hop. But anyway, that's the kind of stuff I be doing to keep my mind occupied, because there's just a dead silence out here, apart from the wind that picks up every now and then. It's just a dead silence, and I ain't used to that, man. I mean, I grew up in the hood. My bedtime ambience was gunshots, screaming sirens, overheard crackhead conversations. That shit used to lull me to sleep, but the hood just sounds like this place now, claimed by the cold hand of nature, and I stuck it out for a couple of months after the crash. But like, once the stores were completely empty, and people turned real nasty, I mean, killing and eating each other out of desperation, straight up Hannibal Lecter type shit, that's when I said, no man, hell no, I ain't ending up on no goddamn dinner menu. So I packed my things, loaded up my 1999 Dodge Caravan. Yo, I'm old school, man. That thing was my baby. Anyway, I drove south, and I kept driving south until my Dodge ran out of fuel out in the boonies, and lo and behold, I looked to my right, and there, through the gaps in the trees, about 100 feet off the road, is a quaint little snow-covered cabin that looks like it ain't been inhabited since Noah stepped off the ark. And that was it, my new home. That was fate, man. My Dodge was supposed to run out of fuel at that exact moment, at that exact place. And that was 3.5 years ago, y'all. I fixed the place up a bit, added a bit of insulation with whatever I could find, fixed a few leaks. I went from DJ Apocalypse to DIY Apocalypse. There was an old shed out back full of old tools, and I learned the trade, man. Started cutting me some wood, stocking up, catching me them chicken and nut flavored squirrels, and just every day, bit by bit, learn how to survive and thrive. But the day could come when I gotta go, y'all, when the squirrel population be like dropping to numbers that don't satisfy my hunger no more, when DJ Apocalypse is going and eating all the little furry motherfuckers into extinction, I'm going to have to venture out. See what other possibilities and opportunities are presenting themselves. I don't know what's going on. I ain't heard no news in years. Do we even got a president anymore, or a government, or any type of like functioning system? I ain't seen a car pass in about 3 years neither. Hell, there ain't even a road there no more. I ain't seen no planes overhead. I ain't seen another living soul since the day I stepped foot in this place, y'all. For all I know, I'm just talking to myself. Damn, imagine that. That would be sad, man. But no, I think somebody out there hearing me for real. There gotta be. Because I've even heard what I thought sounded like voices coming through the static, like all distorted and shit, obviously, but it sounded like a bunch of rednecks. Like the kind of dudes whose mamas are also their daddy's sister. The kind of dudes with an IQ of 100 between four of them. The kind of dudes who would lynch my ass. So as much as I want to see people, I'm careful about the people I want to see. You got to be wary, man. You invite someone into your home, or you see someone and be like, yo, hey neighbor, that evening you could be chopped up into 27 different pieces and your kidneys and shit be getting boiled in a pot by a bunch of inbred hills have eyes looking motherfuckers. There's a bit of interference going on, but yeah, you gotta be wary, man. You can't be like broadcasting your location and shit and inviting him every Tom, Dick, and Harry around for some squirrel. There's a lot of desperate people out there right now. It's every man for himself. Yeah, I gotta go get some more logs for the fire, y'all. I'm burning through them quick, but it's all good. I got no shortage of forest, and if you put every layer of clothes you got on and you doing some chopping, you can stay warm out there. Plus, it's good for the mind, man. That shit's therapeutic. All right, I'm going for now. Catch y'all later.
Asteroid 3,000 times bigger than the one that killed the dinosaurs.
Step outside and it's like being smacked in the face with a snow shovel. So you kind of brace yourself each time. Then, of course, you got to close the door behind you as quick as possible, because even 3 seconds of minus 60 blowing through the gap will pretty quickly cool the room down. And on top of that, we've got the extra trouble of wind direction. Unfortunately, it primarily aims itself directly at the front of the house. So every morning, or nearly every morning, we've got 4, 5, 6 foot of snow drift piled up against the door, which my husband actually thinks is beneficial because he says it acts as like an extra layer of insulation. But I'm not convinced. I mean, it's friggin' snow, but my husband, he says these things to keep the kids' spirits up. It's so hard for them. Their natural instinct is to want to go outside and play. Their kids, for God's sake, so of course they do, but they can only go outside most days for like a couple minutes max, with my husband, of course. And that's with every bit of clothing they got. And yeah, within 3-4 minutes they're done. They've had enough anyway. That type of cold, it just penetrates every layer of clothes you got, gets under your skin, into your bones. It's just not worth it. And my youngest, she's 5, so you know what that means. She's never seen the sun. Or she would have, but she was only like a year old when the crash happened, so obviously she wouldn't remember it. And the same goes for many things. She's never seen a blue sky. And she's never seen the leaves come out on the tree or heard the birds sing. She's never seen a single blade of grass, or she's never seen a flower or heard a dog bark. The list goes on and on and on and on. All she has seen is a white frozen wasteland and a grayish-white sky. And of course, she's got questions. She's very curious about why we live the way we live. Basically, she picks up on the struggle we face day in, day out, even though my husband and I try and hide it. For the sake of the kids, I don't want them thinking, you know, damn, life is miserable. I want them to, regardless of the circumstances, to be happy, to have a childhood that they can look back on and say, we were provided for, we had good times, we laughed, and we may not have had warmth outside, but we had warmth within our home, the warmth of the love that we were shown. And I want their futures to be warmer. That would be nice, but that dust cloud ain't leaving anytime soon, not in our lifetime. But before the crash, I would have hoped for them to have a secure future financially, go to university, get qualifications behind them, all that stuff, and now that don't exist anymore. So all I want for them is just simply health and happiness. That's it. And for them to be able to live somewhat of a normal life. I mean, of course, it's not going to be the same type of normal that I had when I was growing up. Like, going to school, going to the mall, the prom, clubbing on the weekend, the first date, all that stuff, but they won't know any different. This will be all they know. This will be the only normal they know. And that's sad. But we gotta do what we gotta do to give them a sense of hope and purpose in life, because without that, you ain't got nothing. So we owe them that, and when they do someday have questions, we'll answer them honestly. We'll tell them about the crash, try and explain as best we can about, the Earth, the universe, what caused all this, which I won't be very good at. My husband will be better at all that, but, these kids are basically starting off with the knowledge people had from the earliest of times. Knowledge has been lost, so they won't be able to fathom how the Earth is a huge big ball floating around in space. They won't even be able to understand what space is. They ain't never seen the stars or the moon, and we ain't got no books to try and explain all that, but they're going to be curious for sure. My husband and I are going to have a lot of questions to answer, questions we don't have the answers to, but we'll do our best. And we'll do our best to give them the best life they could possibly have, given the circumstances. Anyway,
Immediately, my brother is trapped. He fell through the ground. He fell about 50 feet. He's not responding. I can't get to him. We need somebody. We're scared and we're cold. Please, somebody help us. We're in Ross Creek. You will see a blue shipping container.
I mean, the asteroids were massive, but the chances of them actually colliding where they did between us and the sun, the chances of that are so slim, you couldn't even put a number on it, but they were massive. I mean, massive. These goddamn things were anywhere between 400 and 500 miles in diameter. That's the size of some of the biggest asteroids found in the main asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. And what in the hell they were doing out this direction is anyone's guess. But still, the chances of them hitting, try to imagine the vastness of space and that distance between the Earth and the Sun. It's 93 million miles. I'll repeat that. 93 million miles, and these two space rocks, 400 or 500 miles in diameter, somehow managed to collide basically just above our Earth. Unluckily for us, just close enough for the Earth's gravity to pull that dust and debris from the resulting crash into its orbit and block our source of life. I mean, we must be the unluckiest goddamn planet in the whole freaking universe. I lay awake at night thinking about that, and it's just crazy. Anyway, it is what it is, and what it is shit bad luck, but I hope you're holding up okay. Wherever you are, we've only got another couple hundreds of thousands of years left of this, so look on the bright side. It could be warmer tomorrow. Maybe it'll only be minus 51. Imagine if we just woke up tomorrow and we saw that the ice was beginning to thaw. Wouldn't that be a sight to behold? Like by some minor miracle, the dust cloud just disappeared, and we saw the sun's rays, streaks of golden light shining through the clouds, and a blue sky slowly being revealed as the clouds disperse. Imagine that. Wouldn't you just cry tears of joy? I would anyway. But yeah, the imagination is as far as it goes and no further. It would be nice to know what's going on in other parts of the world, hell, even other parts of our own country. Like maybe a bit of sun is getting through some gaps in the dust cloud. I mean, that's what I've been thinking. Also, those asteroids were big, but according to my estimates, there wouldn't be enough dust and debris to completely smother the globe. There couldn't be. But maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe you just need a large enough percentage of the sun's light and heat being blocked to trigger an ice age. Either way, it was obviously enough. But it would just be cool to hear some news of what's going on elsewhere. We're all just so cut off from each other. I wonder how many people have died around the world as a result of this. I mean, when you think of all the possible causes of death that could be attributed to this, hypothermia would probably be number one, I'd imagine, just general exposure to the elements. A couple 100 million probably wiped out by that, and then you got starvation. The world's covered in ice, so there ain't nothing growing, no food for the animals to eat, so they're dying, and we in turn eat the animals to survive, and there's not many animals that have gotten through this, so Again, a couple of 100 million, probably gone because of starvation. Maybe I'm even being conservative with those numbers. It could be billions. And then you got disease. Weakened bodies are more prone to sickness. Another few million or billion wiped off the earth. Then there's accidents. There has to have been quite a few of them. And what else is there? Social chaos. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and people are, and people will kill each other to survive. So yeah, the number of dead has to be in the billions, and we're talking about just 4 years of this, 4 years. What about another 4,000 years or 400,000 years? Humanity will not survive. Pure and simple, humanity will not survive. I don't mean to be a pessimist. I'm just being realistic here. If my numbers are right, and I'm calculating that hundreds of millions, maybe billions are dead in 4 years, then in just 10 years time or less, every last one of us could be gone, and 90% of all other life forms too, except those that can survive or withstand these conditions. That's a crazy thought, ain't it? In 10 years time, I am pretty confident that every last one of us, the human race, will be gone. And I know some of you will be saying, well, thanks, Joe, for that uplifting prediction, but I'm sorry, folks. Them just the facts. That's the grim reality of the situation. And thinking otherwise is just fooling yourself. I mean, I'm not saying give up and just curl up in a ball and die. But we got to be realistic about the situation and not delude ourselves. Like some dude I heard on the air, DJ Apocalypto, or DJ Apocalyptic, maybe Apocalypse. I don't know. But anyway, he was saying how he will overcome this, and Mother Nature will have to do better than this to kill him, all that stuff, and talking about positive vibes, staying positive. Well, the situation says otherwise, and he is not in control of it. If nature wants to kill him, it will. And there ain't nothing this positive vibes can do about it. I mean, not that I would, but if I wanted to, I could track him down pretty easy, knock on his front door, and blow his head clean off his friggin' shoulders and take all this stuff. So what's your positive vibes going to do about that, Mr. DJ Apocalypto? Like I said, not that I would do that, but my point is kind of arrogant to say you're in control of a situation like this, or have so much certainty that you're going to get through it, because you don't know shit. You don't know what's coming down the line, because me, someone else, or Mother Nature itself could just decide that today is your final day. Simple as that. So people ought to be wary of
And in a lot of ways, I don't miss it. I don't miss my alarm going off or the morning commute. I don't miss the traffic. I don't miss pretending I give a shit about my colleague's weekend on a Monday morning. I don't miss listening to my boss tell me how to do a job that I can do better than him. And I don't miss the Sunday evening anxiety that comes with thinking of work on a Monday. I don't miss the fake smiles or the senseless small talk conversations by the coffee maker. I don't miss acting professional or sacrificing my life for a bullshit corporation that doesn't give a shit about me. And I don't miss the brain-numbing reality TV shows or the celebrities with half a brain cell telling us how to live our lives. I don't miss our corporate pawn of a president or the government control and overreach. I don't miss our society's decadent moral decline and the breakdown of family values. I don't miss the relentless radio commercials and god-awful songs that were somehow considered music. I don't miss the depressing, constant bombardment of agenda-driven news that blatantly lied, misled, and distorted facts to manipulate public opinion. I don't miss our greedy, self-indulgent, consumerist society, and I don't miss paying my rent. I just don't miss it. I am, in fact, very content with this peaceful, isolated, albeit difficult existence. It's brutal, but it's calm. It It's unforgiving, but it's humbling to just look out there and see the endless expanse of white terrain. It makes you feel so small and insignificant, but in a comforting sort of way. And you actually have time to think, and I didn't have that before. Or maybe I did, but there were so many distractions, constant stream of information with technology and work and whatever, to the point that you forgot what it was to just simply sit down and think like I do now. I mean, once my work for the day is done, and I mean real work, not slaving away for some soul-sucking corporation. I mean, chopping the wood, hunting, gathering, doing repairs, preparing for the next day and all that. After that's done, I just sit down, light the fire, get a bite to eat, and I can just stare into the fire for hours, and I just think, and it amazes me that I look forward to something and as simple as that at the end of the day. And that's when your mind is starting to reconfigure, slowly return to its natural state before it was corrupted and polluted by the poisonous fumes of a toxic world. Of course, there are certain people that I miss. My mom, my dad, my brother. We all lived in different parts of the country at the time of the crash, and I haven't seen them since, and I don't know if they got through it, but who knows, maybe someday I'll find out, maybe someday I'll see them again. It's not beyond the realms of possibility, but without any means of transport. For now, it is impossible, but it would be good just to even hear their voices, or just know that they're okay. That would be enough for me. But I had a dog, my best buddy, his name was Arnold, and he made it through the first few months after the crash, but eventually it got too much for him, and I did what I could to try and keep him fed and keep him warm, but it wasn't enough. And he didn't make it, and I still miss him every day and feel like I let him down, but well, it is what it is, but I do have a picture of him beside my bed, which is nice. It's when he was about 3 years old, and we were out at the lake on a hot summer's day, and I was throwing the ball in the lake for him, and I remember that day like it was yesterday. My brother took the picture, and Arnold's got the ball in front of him, and he's soaking wet, tongue sticking out, exhausted from chasing the ball. But yeah, there were good times. Actually, Pet would be nice company right now, but the selection is a bit scarce at the moment. Although there is a spider that lives under my bed, I'm not sure what he's living off though, because I haven't seen a single fly since, well, probably a few weeks after the crash, but something is keeping him alive. He's obviously very resourceful, so he's my only companion for now that I know of anyway. Maybe there's a few other expert survivalists lurking around, probably eyeing me up for their next meal, watching me as I slowly grow weaker, waiting for the perfect opportunity to pounce. Actually, that reminds me, I have to check the trap out in the shed and see what tasty grub I've got for tonight. Probably another rat, which at first I refused to eat because, well, it was rat. But if you stew it for an hour or so, they're not that bad. They've got like an earthy taste, is how I would put it. They're a bit chewy, but yeah, they're not bad. So anyway, I'm gonna go check the trap. Talk to you guys later.
Oh, hell no, damn. Y'all, I got a hater on my back? I was picking up literally no signal before, but I heard that loud and clear. DJ Apocalypse gone and got himself a hater, talking about tracking me down, getting all itchy about my positive vibes. Tell him I'm coming up here and blowing my head off my shoulders and shit. Here, listen, if you've heard me before, you know me. I'm all about peace and love, forgiveness. That's just me, man. Peace and love. I don't threaten people with physical violence. That ain't me. Those days are behind me. But listen, dude, I will mess your shit up. If you trespass on my turf, stay off my land and stay away from my squirrels. This place be laden with traps. You step 10 feet on my turf, man, and you're going to end up impaled on some nasty-ass stick for real. I'm just giving you a very considerate health and safety order. You come on my land, and I feel like you putting my ass in danger, all hell gonna break loose. I mean, come on, man, I'm armed too. You think I was walking around the hood all them years with a goddamn butter knife for backup? Oh, hell no. Do you best stop with that crazy talk, or your ass is gonna end up at death by misadventure. The misadventure being, y'all ass thinking to come up on my turd running his mouth and waving weapons around and shit. Oh, hell no. That ain't happening. You do your shit and I'll do mine. You want to be all downbeat and whatever, you do that. But I'm a positive dude, and I know it ain't going to save my ass from the inevitable, but it makes my journey towards the inevitable a happier one. So you do your thing, and I'll do mine. I'm going to wake up with a smile on my face every morning until my ass is frozen and preserved in a block of ice, and archaeologists will discover me in 5,000 years' time and say to each other, damn, that dude look happy as fuck. That's just how DJ Apocalypse roll, man. Don't get all up on my ass because you wallowing in your own self-pity and misery and trying to drag us all down with you. Come on, man. Be cool. We gotta get along out here. Not Beatty dishing out threats and talking about leaving your neighbor with no head and taking his squirrels and shit. That shit ain't appropriate. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say about the matter, but damn, here I am waiting to hear some signs of life from another human being, and the first one I hear is threatening to shoot my ass just for spreading some positivity. Anyway, I ain't gonna lose sleep over it, but my ears gonna be tuned in for any twig snapping, any snow crunching, and doors squeaking, and if I hear any of that shit and you up to something you shouldn't be up to, I'm gonna Clint Eastwood your ass. Okay, I'm done for today. I'm gonna chill, make some sick beats with my pots and pans, spit some sick rhymes over the top of them, bust out another DJ Apocalypse classic. It's gonna be called Neighbor Impaled, featuring Lil Squirrel and the Squirrel Crew. Alright, much love. Talk to y'all later.
Minus 55 and I can't feel my face.
Just literally 5 minutes ago, I held her in my arms.
Just been jerking off, trying to generate some heat.
Nothing left, and I don't know how much longer I have. I'm down to my last bit of timber, my last bit of gas, my last canned soup, and it's probably my last few days. I'm weak, I'm hungry, I've lost hope, and once the heat dissipates, the temperatures in the cabin are going to be the same as the temperatures outside. The only thing I'll be protected from is the wind, and it's a crazy thought, but I was thinking with the last bit of gas I have in my lighter, will I just burn the cabin down with me in it? At least I won't die a slow, drawn-out death in the cold. Instead, it will be relatively quick and warm. I'm trying to think what my father would do if he was in this situation. He always thought of a solution to any problem, but unfortunately, I didn't inherit that skill. I just stocked up on a trailer load of food when the crash first happened and came out here to the family cabin to save being eaten by the masses, but I never learned how to hunt or actually made an effort to learn. In fact, stupidly, I just ate up my stash of food and thought, I'll worry about getting more when the time comes, and well, that time has come, and I'm all out of ideas. I look outside and I just see a frozen, hostile wasteland that offers nothing to me, nothing to sustain me or give me some hope. And I can't leave and look for help. The nearest thing to civilization is over 20 miles away, and it's about minus 52 or 3 outside. So I would be dead in a matter of hours, so I'm stuck. I've nothing left in the cabin to stay for, and at the same time, there's nothing outside it to leave. So I guess these are my final words, and I have nothing prolific to say, only that
I've had a good life in general. There's been ups and downs, but generally it's been okay, and I'm just angry with myself that I didn't prepare better, but that was the story of my life, really. I was always disorganized and always left things till the last minute, and that's going to cost me my life. I feel very lonely. I always have felt a bit lonely, actually. I never had kids or a wife, so I'm used to being on my own, but this is a different type of loneliness. It is a scary type of loneliness, a fear of dying alone, a fear of the unknown, how it will feel, how long it will take, where I will go afterward, if anywhere. It's just an overwhelming sense of fear. I don't know how else to put it, but it's definitely not the way I expected to go, and I don't want to be just left for the rats to feed on. I would like proper burial, but I can't bury myself, obviously, so that was another reason for thinking that it might be a good idea to just burn the cabin down with me in it. That way at least I can give myself a cremation. Something I'm going to have to give a bit more thought, but it seems the most logical thing to do. It definitely does. And with that, I'm going to go now. I'm going to sign off and wish whoever is listening, if anyone, all the luck in the world, this frozen world, and I hope you and your loved ones make it. Goodbye.